With the bye week well underway, Joe Douglas has some work to do.
Inside, and a beauty! Hall running free! Brees Hall inside the 10! He's gonna score!
What is going on, guys? Welcome back to Talking Just with Tigo. My name is Tigo, and before we hop into today's video, a couple of announcements. Guys, in the comment section below, leave me your thoughts. That's why I started this YouTube channel. I'm going to start leading with this announcement. I love the comment section. It's been going absolutely insane recently, and I love it. I love reading your guys' comments. I try to respond to every comment, so leave a comment. I love the comment section. It's going absolutely insane, even when you guys are yelling at me. But some other announcements. Guys, we've got a couple of really cool bye-week related videos coming up. A video with Ryan from Jets Talk 24/7, a video with Buffalo Jet Fan. I'm trying to bring in other people to do videos with during the bye week. We're going to do a lot of really cool and interesting things. But today we're going to be talking about the bye week, specifically surrounding Joe Douglas and the job that he now has to do. For the first time in a long time, the Jets have a bye week right at the middle half of the season, right at the halfway mark. Usually speaking, in the last at least couple of years, we've had our bye weeks really early, week 6, week 7. And so it doesn't really give us enough time to evaluate our roster to make decisions on it. Well, we're halfway through the season. We've played 9 games. The New York Jets are 6-3, and that's absolutely phenomenal. And we're at the bye week, and a lot of general managers, when we get to this halfway point in the season, try to get business done. And I think Joe Douglas shouldn't wait at all to get business done, especially when it comes to guys internally on the roster. I went on Spotrac and looked at all of the contracts that the New York Jets have. Of the 53 contracts that the New York Jets currently have on their 53-man roster, 26 of them are on expiring deals. That means that there's a lot of work that could potentially be done at the bye week. Now, there are some players that don't need to be re-signed or don't even need to have a conversation with. A great example of that, who are on expiring deals. I think great examples of that are players like Joe Flacco, Jeff Smith, Cedric Ogbuehi and Mike Remmers, one of them, right? I'd probably start the conversation with the other one. Drew Samia is still under contract. Will Parks is on an expiring deal. Marcel Harris. You don't need to have conversations with those guys. But there are some guys that we for sure 100% should start to have conversations with now, to possibly sign them now, to keep them here long term and to extend them beyond just this season. There's a couple of names that immediately come to mind, and the first name and the biggest name isn't even a player on an expiring deal. He's actually signed for 1 year after this year as well, and that's Quinnen Williams. Give the man his money. You got to pay him before he gets into a contract year and it starts affecting his play or anything like that. But also, I would like to tie him down to a contract before the cap explodes. We know that the NFL cap is going to explode when the new TV deals hit. That happens in 2024. If we can get him on a number that's going to be eclipsed by the cap, and we're going to have one of the best, if not the best, interior defensive linemen on our team for 5+ years, I would like to have that contract done sooner rather than later. A couple of other contracts that you could possibly look at extending, but I wouldn't really do. Corey Davis has 1 more year after this year. Carl Lawson has 1 more year after this year. They're people that you might want to start having that conversation. CJ Mosley has restructured his contract, so it's a bit wonky, but that's a contract that you might want to restructure to keep him here long term. Again, there's a lot of those conversations, but here are the guys that I would not wait. I would sign this summer, including Quinnen Williams. The first one is you're going to have a conversation with Nate Herbig, in my opinion. He has been absolutely phenomenal for this team, and as a backup guard, he is an excellent option, and I would like to keep Nate Herbig here long term. After this year, the only interior offensive lineman that the New York Jets have under contract are Elijah Vera Tucker, and that's it. Elijah Vera Tucker and Laken Tomlinson. Connor McGovern is on an expiring deal. Nate Herbig is on an expiring deal. Dan Feeney is on an expiring deal. We don't have any interior offensive linemen. And while I can confidently say we can wait to the offseason to have those conversations with Dan Feeney and Connor McGovern, I would not wait with a guy who has such a high backup upside like Nate Herbig. I would try to extend him now, especially because he's not going to be able to ask for a lot of money. That seems like a good deal to do. Another person that's on an expiring deal that I would maybe look at giving 2 years or something along those lines is Kenny Yeboah. I think he's done an excellent job on the special teams unit. I would really like to keep him here. I would hate to see Kenny go somewhere else. It's a homegrown talent. It's a guy that we developed, and that's just something that I would like to see stay with the New York Jets. But we do have Jeremy Ruckert. We do have CJ Uzama and Tyler Conklin. So bringing on a fourth tight end, especially when you take into consideration that we also have Nick Bodden, it might make more sense to give these guys 1-year deals and have them compete for tight end 4. Versus giving and extending Kenny Yeboah. Who knows what's going to go on there. The other thing that we have to talk about is the running back room. All 3 of our running backs not named Breece Hall and Michael Carter are on an expiring deal. Ty Johnson, James Robinson, and Bam Knight are only on 1-year deals. And I would like to bring all 3 of those guys back. Now, is the time to have that conversation now? I'm not sure. But with James Robinson, it might be time to start that conversation. Don't sign him. Don't extend him. Don't do any of that stuff. But maybe call his agent and gauge the interest. Start the conversation now so that you're not starting it at the end of the season. But I think the most important position and the most important place for us to start looking at contracts has to be on the defensive side of the ball, because we're going to lose Sheldon Rankins, Solomon Thomas, Vinny Curry, and Nathan Shepard on the defensive line. And in the linebacker room, we're going to lose Quincy Williams, Quan Alexander, Marcel Harris, and technically Bryce Huff is considered an outside linebacker. And then we also lose on the defensive side of the ball LaMarcus Joyner and Will Parks. And while I feel totally comfortable letting Solomon Thomas, Vinny Curry, man, even Nathan Shepard, if we go and draft somebody, walk in free agency or bring back on a cuttable deal at the end of the season in the off season, I feel the same way about, Marcel Harris and Will Parks. Like, I would love to keep them on the team, but I'm not going to have that conversation till the end of the year, till the off season, and we see what moves we can make, who shakes free, who's available for trade, what does the draft look like, and those kinds of things. Once we see that shake out, once we see those situations and those things happen, I feel comfortable bringing those guys back. But guys that I would possibly have a conversation with now is Sheldon Rankins. Now, unfortunately, Sheldon just got hurt, but you probably start that conversation and maybe give him an extension in the middle of the year when he comes back and he's playing at that level that he was playing. He has been the Robin to Quinnen Williams' Batman, and he's been playing exceptionally well up the middle. And losing a player like Sheldon Rankins, we're going to feel it on that defensive line. It's going to be a big deal. But that linebacker room, let's talk about back to the defensive line. I would extend Bryce Huff right now. I think that's a key piece. Bryce Huff, I think, can take the snaps that Vinny Curry was getting, that Jacob Martin was getting, and he can legitimately be part of a 4-headed monster that we have on that edge room with oh my God, I'm blanking on their names. Jermaine Johnson, Jonathan Franklin Myers, Carl Lawson, and Bryce Huff is a scary 4-punch. And the thing is, guys, we can get out from under Carl Lawson's contract at the end of this year. No, I'm not advocating that we do that, but we do have Michael Clemens here. We have a lot of really young and inexpensive edge rushers, and if we're trying to clear cap and make room, Carl Lawson's contract is somewhere we can look at. I would prefer to keep him on the team and just have 5 insanely good edge rushers like we have this year and just run it back. But that contract and the impending payment of Quinnen Williams is going to be something that you're going to have to monitor. But also in the linebacker room, I think Quincy Williams is a priority, just like his brother is. You got to bring Quincy back because Quincy is part of the heart and soul of that linebacker room. And then so is Quan Alexander. This is where I go and I say I still want to go draft a linebacker in the draft. I feel confident in Jamin Sherwood, CJ Mosley, Quincy Williams, and Quan Alexander to be a 4-headed linebacker room that's really, really competent. And then you replace Marcel Harris with your new second, third round linebacker who's supposed to take over that CJ Mosley job or compete with Jamian for that CJ Mosley job moving forward. And I can't believe I'm about to say this, but I think Lamarcus Joyner has played himself into a contract. At least one more year. He's played at an exceptionally high level outside of the first 3 weeks of the season. And now I'm not saying that I want him to be my starter next year, because I don't. I would love to address safety in the draft. Probably in the second round is where I would like to do it. But that being said, he's done an exceptional job and probably deserves to come back here and be kind of like a player coach in that DB room, because he's playing lights out since week 3. Guys, let me know in the comment section below, what do you think? What players should we address? What contracts should we sign? Should we wait to do all of this to the offseason? Let me know in the comment section below. And last but not least, go Jets.